NX has moved in, firing all phases and all of its torpedo launchers. Looks like the Venator is taking some significant damage to the front. NX is absolutely unloading on this one. How are the shields doing on the NX? They're still on blue, which means they're over half health. Welcome back everyone to Space Engineers NPC Battles, the series where we put completely random ships against each other using NPC AI and see which one wins the battle. Today we've got a very different fight. We've had a Star Trek battle and we've had a Star Wars battle, but we haven't had a Star Trek versus Star Wars battle yet. So in this episode we're going to try that for the first time. So on the first side of this battle we have, returning from the last video, the reigning champion, the Venator Star Destroyer. This ship is outfitted with 18 turbo lasers and 8 larger turbo laser cannons with 4 regular 300 megawatt large reactors. This design was created by Sauron 2012 on the Steam Workshop, and the link for this one will be available in the description below. And over on the other side we have the NX class cruiser, or the NX-01 Enterprise if you will, from the Star Trek universe. This one's from around the 2150 era, so it's significantly more advanced than the Star Trek ships we saw in the first episode of this series. This NX class is outfitted with 14 phase cannons and 6 photon torpedo launchers. This ship also has a shield strength of 7.28 million, and this one's powered by a 7 gigawatt deuterium reactor. The thing about this one is that the Venator has a significant advantage in its weapons range. This ship with its regular turbo lasers can shoot up to 2.5 kilometers away. The NX on the other hand can only shoot up to 1 kilometer away with its longest range phase cannons. However, the NX has shielding, whereas the Venator does not, and the NX is far more maneuverable, so it'll be interesting to see how these ships compare. So I think we're about ready. Let's begin the fight in 3, 2, 1. And looks like the NX class is moving in an unorthodox direction. Not really sure what the AI is thinking here. Venator is yet to make a move. And now the NX is moving directly in for the Venator. Venator is firing its main turbo lasers. However, it still hasn't made any move. Turbo lasers seem to be doing little damage to the hull plating. NX has moved in, firing all phases and all of its torpedo launchers. Looks like the Venator is taking some significant damage to the front. NX is absolutely unloading on this one. How are the shields doing on the NX? They're still on blue, which means they're over half health. NX is continuing to tear into the Venator with all of its phase cannons, using its front torpedoes to dish out some serious damage to the Venator. It has sustained a significant amount of hull damage to the front. Phasers are very good at tearing through these ships. Both NPCs have kicked in, and it looks like the Venator is still able to use most of its weapons to engage the NX. Shields on the NX are down about 1/3, which means the Venator appears to be losing this fight. The Venator really needs to keep up its firepower, otherwise it's going to lose this fight quite quickly. These phase cannons do deal a lot of damage, and when you throw in 4 photon torpedo launches on this, you're going to have a bad day. However, the Venator does have significantly more mass than the NX, which means even without shields, it will be a lot harder to take down. So let's see how these ships actually compare. It might be more interesting to outfit some of these Star Destroyers with some actual torpedo launchers, like the proton torpedoes or even the concussion missile launchers, because they do deal out quite a bit of damage, and can sometimes even fully bypass shields. NX definitely has its best possible angle on this ship. However, the shields on the NX have now gone red, which means they are below half health, so this could become a very interesting fight. Venator is still dishing out loads of damage to the NX. Look at the state of the hull plating on the Venator now. It has many holes in it. Hangar bay is not looking in the best of positions right now. You can literally just see out of the end. This is not looking too good for the Venator. Shield status on the NX is about probably half now, and it is dropping quite quickly though. The NX has moved out to a position where the Venator can engage it with more weaponry. Probably not a good move by the AI on the NX, but we'll go with it. Looks like a reactor or a tank. 2 tanks now has been blown on the Venator class. Venator is now shooting the NX with 5 turbo laser turrets, and its shields are dropping quite rapidly now. NX isn't directly targeting the Venator's weapons though. I'm not sure what systems it's going for. It doesn't have subsystems enabled, so it won't be targeting specific areas. But it's definitely got an interesting angle on the Venator at the moment. However, it is being damaged quite a bit on the side here. we could see the shields completely go down on the NX here. It does look like the Venator's weapons are targeting specific areas of the hull. Shields are seriously looking low on the NX now, below 100,000, dropping down straight to 20,000, 5,000. Shields are down on the NX. Let's see what happens here. This is a lot more interesting now because you can see the ship has just vented atmosphere and it is starting to take some significant hull damage now from these turbo lasers. NX is also using its rear torpedoes a lot more now and is utilising about 4 or 5 of its phase cannons, which is more like it. This battle is going to be a lot closer now because despite the fact that the NX has sustained significantly less damage, it has lost all of its 7.2 million shield strength. Now if the NX was facing this from the front, this way it would be able to use all 4 of its torpedo launchers like it was in the beginning. Unfortunately, it's gone for this weird side angle, which is pretty cool because they both engaged them side to side, which is pretty much how it was done in the battle at the beginning of episode 3 in Star Wars. Only obviously the NX wasn't present for that fight for some reason. Wow, looks like some of the hull plating on the NX has completely come loose. It has lost one of its warp nacelles. This is very interesting. It's starting to take some significant damage to the left side. Has it lost the NPC because it stopped drifting? Power is still online on the NX. Why has it stopped firing? Has the Venator drifted out of weapons range? It has, but the NX is in hot pursuit. It is now going to be facing the front and is going to be pursuing it so it can use its torpedo launchers. NX is coming in for revenge here, using its phase cannons at the front, lifting itself to an angle where it should be able to use its torpedoes. There we go. Look at this. The NX is out for blood, chasing it directly. The Venator is not getting away from this one, blowing out another reactor. And another one. I'll definitely say this is one of the much more interesting fights that I've seen because the matchup is just so close. There's no need to do a 2v2 or a 1v2 or whatever because they're just so closely matched. There is only one turbo laser left on this ship, but it is still doing some significant damage. But it looks like the phase cannons are beginning to target that area, which means the turbo laser could go down very, very soon. As you can see, the Venator has sustained an extreme amount of damage to its underside. And yeah, I'd say the NX has sustained less damage overall, but it is looking very, very damaged now. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to make this fight a little more interesting. I'm going to spawn the NX in at the other side of the Venator where it may potentially have more of its weapons online. Because in reality, the Venator would have definitely turned around by now and used all of these weapons on this side. So let's spawn the NX in here and let the AI do the rest. NX is already turning. You can see the amount of internal systems that have sustained significant damage now. And the Venator is still drifting this way. Look at the speed the NX is coming in at. And oh dear, it looks like the battle may be over for the Venator. I think the NX just destroyed the last of its reactors. The only advantage really that the Venator had was its range, and the NX made sure to close that gap very, very quickly. So this fight has gone to the NX, which is still not fully operational, but mostly operational. So, thank you guys very much for watching the 3rd episode of this series. If you enjoyed this one, please do consider leaving it a like, as I really, really do appreciate it, and consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. And also consider joining the Discord server, the best way to communicate with me directly, suggest me ideas, and just interact with other people in the AMW gaming community. So, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you later.